because now the pressure is really on because every single game matters.
Hey, friends, welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It was a very happy Monday. Jackson, your favorite part of the show was?
I always love Jackie Sherrill.
Yeah.
He's always really good. Just good insight.
Jackie's great.
Former coach.
Yeah, he's awesome. Nick, your favorite part?
I'll take Tom Hart in this one.
Yeah?
Take Tom Hart
what in particular
in the
about Tom
TexAgs
Hart?
Rewind draft. His analysis of the SEC. Obviously, he was, I believe he was calling the Texas Vanderbilt game.
Yeah.
So liked his breakdown on that.
By the way, very underappreciated comment you made that I'm not going to allow to go away. In the TexAgs Rewind draft. That was fantastic because that's basically what we do.
Yes.
We do draft. So that leaves me Olin Buchanan because I could have taken Billy Liucci, but see, I'm doing a Billy right now. I could take Olin Buchanan, but Billy Liucci was great to close out the show, but I'm going to go with Olin, but Bill. So just check out the entire Rewind. It was really good. Let's also mention that we said the better quarterback was going to win this game, right?
Okay.
I believe we all felt that on this show, like Billy, the McKinneys, you, myself, everybody involved with the show. I think whoever wins the quarterback battle would win this game. We thought it would be Connor versus Nuss. It wasn't Connor.
Mm-mm.
And I have defended Connor. I still like Connor, but he hasn't been right this season for the most part. For the most part, he has not been right, and Marcel Reed has been right. The one game that I felt like he was not right was the Arkansas game until he was right. Right? And what I mean by that is like they had a hard time with getting any offensive going against Arkansas for about 3 quarters. And then, if you remember, he was backed up where he was really good, I think on the 2-yard line. He kind of rolled out, dumped it off to Noah Thomas, and then they started going, and that's where the Le'Veon avalanche, to borrow a term, came back.
I think we were correct, though. I think the best quarterback play won.
Yeah.
And that was Marcel Reed.
Yeah.
Because, and I've said this till I'm blue in the face, the best quarterback doesn't necessarily mean who's the best passer. It means who moves your offense the best, who avoids turnovers, and quite frankly, Marcel was a wizard on the zone read.
I am curious why Connor isn't, because I don't think this is who he was. So a lot of people, I've seen that written before, like, guys, we just didn't know this is who he's. No, he's looked a lot more comfortable in the pocket before with a worse offensive line. I don't know what it is.
It's as good. Everybody come up with a theory, and this, I'm not saying this is the case. Here's a theory I've heard. Maybe it's just the offense that he's in, Colin Klein's offense, for whatever reason, just he's not as comfortable in it as the previous one.
Well, one thing is you can't deny that Marcel is thriving in it, and Marcel has thrived. Did he not lose a high school game? Is that what the stat was? Or maybe one high school game in his career? Something, I heard that somewhere. The dude's great. He's a winner, and the players like him, love him. They love Connor, too. This is not a shot at Connor. I'm just saying, like, it seems to be working. Talk about the atmosphere, the game, the storylines, Marcel Reed coming in and saving the day there in the second half, just how you took it all in.
Well, the most important thing that I think that we all understand that the fans and Kyle Field especially has become the number one stadium in the country. And, we always talked about, Death Valley and talked about Clemson, but Alabama, but Kyle Field, and they stepped up, and there's no question that fans did their job. Then you look at the game, and certainly with the change of the quarterbacks, but to me, what really won the game, and you're looking when you get ready to go play, there was 4 things I always put on the bulletin board before we walked out the door: play physical, win the kicking game, run the football, and stop the run. And you look at the stats, and the game was won not only by Reed coming in and giving us a spark, but when has LSU ever run for only 24 yards? And then you look at A&M, running for 242, and Moss and Daniels are getting better and better. But then you put Reed in the package, so you've actually got things that they have to defend. And I'm impressed the way he throws the football. He's pretty accurate.
I thought the timing of bringing Marcel Reed into the game with the short field was perfect. I was just peeked behind the curtain. I was texting you during the game because I was watching with an Aggie, by the way, with an A&M grad who was as into it as any fan I've ever watched a game with. But we're at a restaurant in Nashville. We had it on a huge screen, but we had no sound. And I think this combination of quarterbacks is an incredible security blanket for Mike Elko, right? I mean, let's not lose sight of the fact that Connor was not throwing the ball well and did not have an efficient game. So to be able to go then to Marcel and have that style of play be something that LSU was completely unprepared for, I think was an incredible ace up the sleeve. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, by my count, this is the second top 10 opponent that's come into Kyle Field and not been prepared for A&M's quarterback situation, with Missouri being the first.
That is correct.
Drinkwitz was not prepared for Wigman. He said, no, Marcel Reed's got him off to a great run. He's won 4 straight. Obviously, they're going to play him. And then they got torched by Wigman. So I think it's an incredible 1-2 punch. It's something that you wouldn't necessarily think of being part of a successful program in college football unless you go back to like the Steve Spurrier days when he was rotating quarterbacks every snap.
So, Tom, there's a long way to go. Absolutely. This game does put A&M in this awesome position. But I think South Carolina, that's going to be a fight right there, man. Like that's going to be tough. I think going to Auburn is always tough for A&M, and obviously to close out with Texas. But that being said, the way you look at A&M today, as opposed to the way you looked at them maybe heading into the season, how much has changed seeing the product now?
So I was thinking about this morning on my coffee run, and I was thinking the first thought that came to mind was, well, A&M's playing with house money, right? I mean, this record and the results are so much better than where I thought they were going to be. When we talked in the preseason, it was, man, 8 wins would be fantastic, right? Year one, a rebuild, get to a bowl. You get to 8 wins, holy smokes. But I quickly pivoted away from that because now the pressure is really on because every single game matters.
You don't tweet when you're down 8 or 9-0 to Georgia in the first inning. You don't tweet when you're down, 12 in basketball in the first half at Kentucky, or when you're down, to U of H late and all hope looks lost in the NCAA tournament, or Northern Iowa. So yeah, it's tough. It's something that I've kind of learned not to do because the most regrettable ones you fire off and post or fire off tend to be that moment of frustration in the heat of battle. Look, I was like everybody else Saturday at 17-7 at halftime. When A&M didn't get points before halftime and they had crossed midfield, I'm like, okay, God, after the way this half has gone, if you're only down 7 and getting the ball, much less if you could somehow figure out how to punch this in for a touchdown and be down 17-14, like you would feel amazing, right? They got nothing. And everybody was walking around at halftime, and everyone that I saw said the same thing. And they were like, A, are we going to change quarterbacks? B, what's wrong? And it's like, yeah, LSU outplayed them for 30 minutes. They definitely did. And you're sitting there going, there's 2 sides to it. This isn't good. They have demonstrated over 30 minutes that they're better than you. For 30 minutes, though.
Right.
And you knew that Mike Elko and Jay Bateman could make some adjustments to where I felt good that they weren't going to come out and score 17 in the second half. So the question was, how does A&M do it? And Mike Elko and Colin Klein figured that out. And the defense figured it out. They said, okay, well, we're going to play our part by completely shutting this team down. So for the second week in a row, they have completely shut down an opposing offense after halftime. I mean, and really, if you go back, it's the 4th game in a row, correct? That they have, okay, so Arkansas scored 1 touchdown after halftime. No, they kicked a field goal. They had 3 points after halftime. Missouri scored 10 garbage points, and they shouldn't have had 10 because Pinkel was a complete you-know-what for kicking that field goal down 41-7 at the end of a game. They scored 1. Yeah, sorry. Did I say Pinkel?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Gary Pinkel. This guy hasn't been coaching for like
12 years.
12 years, and I'm going on Monday morning assault on Gary Pinkel.
You were on the sidelines, so I want you to tell the people what to do and what your emotions were after the interception by B.J. Mays and the Marcel Reed touchdown. That voice that you would have had of emotion, I want you to tell the people what to do.
You guys are going to want to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell all of your friends, tell your family about our amazing show.
I love how
Wow, that was a great interception.
Wasn't that great?
I'm so happy.
But that's
Gig
his
'em,
character.
Aggies.
He's serious. He's bro
He's still on the
science.
sidelines, like locked into the game because
No.
he could be, he's like the 12th man. He could go in at any time, right?
Yeah, I have to always stay dialed in. I feel like I'm very serious. I can be funny, but
Who's your favorite
locked in.
comedian? I got to know this.
I like Shane Gillis, but
All
I like
right, you're
I
on
like,
the team.
I like Sebastian Maniscalco.
You're still on the team. Those are my two guys.
Because he's very serious, but he's also like he's sarcastic. His humor is.
Sebastian is one that I can watch with my kids. Well, not all my kids. My older boys. He's fantastic. He sometimes curses, but he's really funny. I love Shane. I'll throw in Dave Chappelle. I don't know how we got there. It doesn't matter. It's the Rewind. See you next time.